Hi folks, this is your MWIS Planning Outlook with the details through this week and further ahead. Things are hotting up in the days ahead, and this is the mean temperature anomaly in relation to the long-term averages. This is over a 5-day spell from Thursday through till next Monday, significantly above the long-term average widely across the country. A more extensive hot spell reaching even the north and west of Scotland, more so than we've seen during the summer so far. That will all develop as the airflow turns to a continental southerly flow in the later part of the week. For midweek, though, it is what we call a tropical maritime southwesterly coming in from the Atlantic, and that brings a lot of dampness to the west coast of Scotland, in particular. Low cloud, drizzly conditions across the mountains throughout Wednesday, onwards into Thursday as well in western Scotland. Remnants of fronts that will be pushing across northern England and Wales in the morning will also give low cloud across many hills here through the morning hours. Some dampness around for a while as well. England and Wales will tend to improve. Some low cloud, I think, will get stuck across the Western Lake District in particular, breaking up a bit further southwards. Western Scotland stays damp and drizzly all day. Further eastwards across the Highlands, some breaks in the cloud sheet and drier conditions overall. Southwesterly winds will be strongest toward the northwest of the Highlands, rather blustery across the mountains. Temperatures are relatively mild, but will feel cooler in exposure to that wind. Some rather wet rock surfaces as well. In spite of not too much total rain, things will be rather damp underfoot. Taking things onwards into Thursday, and a southwesterly flow will continue across Scotland, particularly toward the northwest, again staying rather windy. Fronts will stay largely just to the northwest, but that residual dampness will feed on to western coastal mountains, again cloaked in low cloud, and drizzle up much of the west coast. Lighter winds further south and east, again higher and more broken cloud further eastwards across the Highlands. Low cloud for a while in western England and Wales will tend to disperse more readily on Thursday, with some very warm sunshine coming through in these areas, and that will be a continuing story later in the week. The warm temperatures will expand further northwards as high pressure just to the east of us allows the air to start coming up more directly from the south. Very light winds by and large across England, Wales and much of southern Scotland. Still a bit gustier though further north and westwards. Some low cloud could still affect those coastal areas in western Scotland through Friday, but will tend to be breaking up a bit more. Areas maybe around the Coolin though could just struggle with that damp air just over the Atlantic nearby, but elsewhere an increasingly sunny and very warm story across the Highlands by this time. Just a very low risk late in the afternoon into the evening that we might pop up an isolated shower across England and Wales, but I think most places more likely stay with blue skies and sunshine. Some hazy high-level cloud and maybe just some weaker hazy views as well, as the atmosphere does just go into that hazier state lower down over England and Wales as the heat starts to build. The charts onwards into the weekend sees high pressure positioned just out to the east of us. That's really the driver then of allowing the hot air to get wafted further northwards and westwards across the Highlands. Generally a south-southeasterly wind flow by Saturday across most areas. We'll see, again, sunny skies for most places, chance of some mist around some of the coasts, but I think overall the hills and mountains are cloud-free and an increasingly very warm story. Highest temperatures, even toward the north of Scotland, in some spots could be nudging around 30 degrees or more in some of the glens. Across the mountains reaching 20 Celsius and a bit higher in some locations, so a very hot day to be expected through Saturday and feeling rather humid as well. Generally light winds across all areas, just a few gustier spots particularly out west. Now overnight Saturday into Sunday we could see some very high temperatures sustained across the mountains, near to 20 degrees across high tops throughout the overnight hours. Some sheltered hollows across the high ground will just drop away a bit cooler. Likewise the valleys and the glens will tend to see temperatures fall away to around 12 or 13 Celsius, but the high tops maintaining that warmth and inversion setup maintained throughout the night. And that leads us into an increasingly hot day where summit temperatures temperatures will be 20 Celsius or above, and valleys and glens will rise substantially again towards 30 degrees, even further northwest across Scotland, with the wind flow just turning slightly more east-southeasterly. It's going to be western areas in particular that see the peak of the heat on Sunday. Lots of sunshine in that forecast once more. High UV levels to be found. Could just be that there's some North Sea har may start to form and drift on to some lower ground in the east. Locally, that wind just becoming a bit gusty again, particularly across western regions. Wales especially could just be that bit gustier by this time. One thing that does just need watching through the weekend, or more likely into early next week, is just low pressure over the Atlantic and the scope for some localised thundery showers forming, as the hot air may just destabilise enough to produce that. But I think the greater risk of any thundery showers is further out over Ireland, or even rain is just further out over the Atlantic. Into early next week though, with low pressure nearby to western Scotland and just drifting a bit further in, we will just be watching for that greater risk of thundery showers just popping up further across into Scotland by Monday. High pressure is expected to stay quite nearby or even expand back in again through next week. Not quite as hot by this stage, that hot southerly flow just cut off somewhat, but some more sunshine to be found. Next week could be an awkward one from a forecasting point of view, as we could just see some destabilising of the atmosphere at times. So some warm and sunny days, but the risk of some occasional thundery elements getting going. Pressure on balance is looking high for the week, but we just need to see how day-to-day detail pans out for local thundery showers at times. The general atmospheric setup later in July still favours some very warm conditions being the main theme of the forecast. High pressure towards the north and lower pressure away toward the southwest would help see a continental south-southeasterly regime trying to be in. Again, there may just be some destabilisation into something thundery in the mix, but some further high temperatures are possible in that sort of setup. Taking things onwards just toward the end of the month into the start of August, and the pressure pattern does just weaken, so we move high pressure further away from us. The more neutral setup, really, without any colour on this map, would just see that greater risk of some mixed conditions developing, maybe again some rain or some thunderstorms just in that forecast further forward. So I suspect by the end of the month we might just be seeing some rain a bit more regularly, and the pressure pattern we've got from this particular model chart into early August again is near average, which would just hint at things just being that bit more changeable with some rain at times. So the very dry conditions prevailing in the short term, things might be a bit more mixed with rain as we head into the start of August. Planning for this weekend ahead though will be all about hot weather, so do be prepared for that. Thanks for watching this video today. Bye for now.